week on Diaspora Life Show, we answer some of the questions that we've received from our viewers from Kenya. These viewers wanted to know how to export or import stuff from around the world, especially the US. We asked Peter Ndungu, a Kenyan businessman based here in the US, to speak at length about how e-commerce works. Welcome to our show. Peter, please welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And
thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I know I've introduced you, but just introduce yourself to our viewers and just tell us briefly what you do here in the US.
Yeah, my name is Peter Ndungu. I'm the director and CEO of a company called Titan Impex Shipping. What we do is we do shipping from US to Kenya. We help Kenyans who need to get things from here to Kenya. We pick up that stuff from them, prepare it for shipping, put it in a container, take them to Mombasa. Then from Mombasa we clear them, take them to a warehouse in Nairobi, and that's when we call the people to come and pick up their stuff. Thank you.
Peter, I know I've done an interview with you last year, late last year. I must say that, you know, the kind of response that I got from many people, not just only in Kenya, but here, was overwhelming, to say the least. But something that emerged out of that interview, that in fact, the reason why we are having this discussion here is the aspect of online shopping. Shopping through the internet, shopping through things like Amazon, eBay, and this interest has been very, very overwhelming, especially to Kenyans living in Kenya. Because one of the things that I noticed is that there's a difference between importing something from China when you're in Kenya and importing something from China through the US to Kenya. The quality, for some reasons, are different. And I've never understood that one. Please explain that to me.
Yes, I remember very well when we were discussing that. That's when we were in the pipeline of doing that. And I went back to Kenya. I opened another company specifically for serving the Kenyan market. It's called Jamex Express. And what now Jamex is doing is picking orders from Kenyans. They are executing those orders in our office. The stuff from Amazon, from Walmart, from wherever is bought is delivered to our address. Then from there we get it, we put it together, ship it to our office in Nairobi, and our Nairobi office calls when the product is there to let the customer know their services, their products are there, and they pick them up. If not that, if the customer wants the same thing to be delivered, we deliver to the door.
Please just simplify that, because especially for our viewers in Kenya, they want to know how this, how possible it is that you're in, you know, you live in Nairobi, for instance, or in Kisumu, Mombasa, or in Bungoma, and these days everything is online.
Yes.
You're surfing your Facebook page, you see an item online that is sold in China, but most of this, the truth is that most of these are marketed as if that's all in the US.
Yes, that's
please simplify for us how that is working out.
It's working in two ways. There's some people in Kenya who have online accounts with like Bath and Body Works, Walmart, Amazon. If you have such an account, all what you need to do is to add our address as one of your shipping addresses. You buy the goods, you make sure each product, each package you send to us has your name, because we don't want to confuse your package with somebody else. Then from there, you choose our address as your shipping address. When the product you come to us, and also yes, whenever you buy, make sure you share the tracking number with us so that you can also be able to follow up with what you have sent. So immediately you do that, it gets to us, we sort it out, we get in touch with you that we have your product, we'll be shipping out this time. Then from there, the next time you hear, the product is in Nairobi. The other way is if you don't have an account with Walmart, or you are not able to do that because of the credit cards and all that, and some stores, like some stores do not allow access of their website outside America. Like the Home Depot, you cannot access their website if you're outside the US. So for such stores, what you need to do is to go find or you give us the product you're looking for. But we prefer most of the stores where you can access the website, you go and get the link of the exact product you want, you copy it. You put it either on our WhatsApp or on our email. Then you come, we execute that purchase for you. We will advise you how to send the money for buying that product to us. You send the money through M-Pesa to our account. Then we use the same funds to buy the product. We come, after we receive it, we send it to you. When it gets to Nairobi is when you get paid for the service of delivery to Nairobi.
Wow.
So you can either pay through M-Pesa. Right now is even greater because you can still pay people through M-Pesa. That's also helping a lot.
Yeah.
Because you can go, you open your PayPal account through M-Pesa, you use the PayPal account to do the purchase. It's also working like that. But in case you get stuck, you're not able to buy something, you only need to tell us this is a product you want, we are going to buy it and you're going to deliver it.
Are you ready for the Diaspora Life Show launch and stage tour? Live from Delaware, from June 6 to 26 September, we'll stream live from 20 different states and cities. From Boston, Baltimore, Atlanta, Montreal. Come and get informed of the different investment opportunities from Kenya. More info on the Standard Digital Videos website. Diaspora Live Show, every Saturday at 7:40 p.m. on Standard Digital Videos platforms.
Wow, this is it's overwhelming even for me, because I know for sure that one of the things that has always been a problem is to get to buy something online, something of quality. But in your understanding, why is it that the same item bought from the same source, why is it that the quality that goes to Kenya is different from the quality that comes to a place like the US, for instance?
Yeah, basically that one is because the standards in the US, they are strictly followed. And there is no way that China manufacturer is going to make a substandard good and is going to find the market here, because the standards here, they are strictly followed and everybody respects that. In our Kenya, for some reason, one or another, that stuff, the cheap stuff, ends up finding a way to get into a market. And with that, and also here, the resellers, the retailers who will have their commitment to their consumers, they don't want to rip their consumers off because they want those customers to come back. So despite them having those products here, they make sure whatever you get here is quality and you're getting the value for your money. On the other side in Kenya, the market is too price sensitive. And sometimes you wonder how those products, they sell at such low prices. Basically because the product is compromised. That's the main thing, because you find the same thing with the label. Sometimes I heard in China you go and buy like the iPhone, and once you buy it, somebody goes back and sticks whatever the label there, that's what you wanted. Here there is very serious controls on such products, and that's why most people prefer to buy things here and incur the cost of shipping it, because they are confident of what they're getting here is the right quality compared to what is in the market in Kenya.
Before we move on to our topic today, which is really just investing in Kenya, investments. As a businessman, you do business here and also back in Kenya. But before we move on to that, how competitive are your rates? Because now somebody listening to you, they will imagine that it's very exorbitant to ship stuff from the US to Kenya. And how long does it take?
If we are shipping by air, it takes us between 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the time we have received the product. But basically, the lead time between the time the products have departed and the time they get to Nairobi is about 10 days. But because of the customs and preparation of the screening of the products here, it goes to 2 to 3 weeks. But for ship, because of the way we connect from here, we don't have direct ships. It takes between 8 to 12 weeks to get to the destination.
And shipping, that means you're shipping big stuff like big equipment from the US.
If you're shipping a big equipment like another like an excavator, that one, the way we do it will be different because we process the document, then we prepare that equipment to be delivered to the port. It's done something called Roro. It's driven or it's hauled to the ship, and it gets to Mombasa, it's pulled out because it cannot fit in a container. So it depends. Even some cars, that's how we do it. Instead of putting a car in a container, the car is driven to the port. Then from there, it's rowed to the ship. When it gets to Mombasa, it's rowed out of the ship.
Do you ship cars from here?
Not too many, but we have shipped several cars from here.
Oh,
but the only condition is they're very rare here because most of the cars are left-hand. But if you have a right-hand drive, we can be able to ship it. We have shipped actually a lot of right-hand drive vehicles. Yeah. You can get them in, they are not very common in the East Coast, but in the West Coast and Central America. In the Central, you find like most of them are Jeeps. They use for mail deliveries. They are manufactured as right-hand drive.
Awesome. So let's come back to our discussion today, Peter, which is business. We are recording this show in summer, and as you may have noticed right now, there's a lot of activity around investment. We have many companies from Kenya, especially those that deal in real estate, land issues. They're all here, claiming a stake in this in the diaspora. I'm told these days that if in Kenya, especially real estate companies, they have a whole a teaching program on how to approach the diaspora to invest back at home. You've invested back at home. You invested back here in the US. Give us what you think in general terms.
Yeah, what they're doing is great, but also what I'm telling the people in diaspora, it's good to invest, but you have to think the reason why you're doing it. We are two kinds of diasporas here. We are the documented and non-documented. If you're in the diaspora and you're not documented, I'll tell somebody, invest in everything, whatever you get in Kenya. But if you're documented, and especially if your family is here, you have to gauge the two. Because if your family is here and you go to Kenya and buy those plots, you put up houses and all that, it'll be good until the time 10 to 15 years when you're here or when you're capable to go and manage them. After those years, especially when you get old or something happens, you're not there anymore, we have big issues to manage those properties. Our kids will not be able to go to Kenya to follow up those properties. So as diasporas who are here, you have to think of the way forward of how we are going to manage these properties.
That brings us to the end of our show. We hope you enjoyed the show. Join us again next week as we bring you more stories from the diaspora. You can also write to us. Our email address is diasporalifeshow@standardmedia.co.ke. Of course, you can watch this show again on YouTube and on standard digital platforms. See you again next week.
Are you ready for the standard digital videos? Diaspora Live Show 20 States Tour. We'll be live on the 6th of June in Newark, Delaware. On the 13th of June, we'll be live in Allentown, Pennsylvania. On the 20th of June, we'll be live in New Haven, Connecticut. On the 27th of June, we'll be live in Baltimore, Maryland. And on the 4th of July, we'll be Raleigh, North Carolina. So gear up, more info on Standard Digital Videos platform.